Hello, Sonoma County. Welcome back to our channel. Are you thinking about buying a home here in Sonoma County and maybe you've heard like a house buying hack that it's better to actually work with the listing agent? We're going to dive into 5 reasons why you may not want to work with the listing agent when buying a home to keep yourself protected and make sure you get the most for your purchase. But first, I'm Morgan Devinchenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move into, out of, and all around Sonoma County every single year. So if you are thinking about making a move, trying to figure out where's the best place to land, who should help me in this purchase process, this is absolutely a video for you, and we would love to guide you through all of it. In this video, we're going to dive into 5 different reasons why you do not want to work with a listing agent when buying a home, whether here in Sonoma County or really anywhere else. We've worked with hundreds of buyers and sellers, and we know how muddy those waters can get when one agent is representing both sides of the transaction and the transparency is not so transparent anymore. So we'll explain a little later in the video how we handle these scenarios when they arise, but for now, let's dive into the 5 reasons you do not want to put yourself in this position as a buyer. Well, first up, I think it's pretty obvious. The listing agent is literally hired to work on behalf of the seller. Their number one job is to get the property sold and represent the seller's best interest throughout the entire process. And pretty much every time that best interest is getting the home sold for the highest price possible. So if you think working with a listing agent is actually going to get you a better deal, you may want to think again. Next up, we also want to look at no true negotiation for you as a buyer. If the listing agent is negotiating for the seller and you're also trying to write an offer on that property, how can they differentiate between being there for the seller's best interest but also trying to manage your best interest? Likely there's going to be a little bit of crossover. Now, especially in this case when it comes to negotiating, if there's multiple offers on a property and the listing agent is representing you, their job is to get the highest price on the property, not necessarily just to get your offer accepted. When working with your own agent, you are able to have someone exclusively working on your behalf and negotiating not only the best price, but also the best terms. Reason number 3, simply you may overpay. A lot of people think when you work with the listing agent that you're gonna get a deal in the process, and I suppose that can come up from time to time, but the reality is not true. Just like the reasons that I've stated before already, someone is not negotiating simply on your behalf, they're negotiating on the seller's behalf and kind of using you as a pawn to get the seller to accept an offer with a happy price. So while you think you may be getting a deal, you may actually be overpaying in the process. That agent may encourage you to offer a little bit more just to get it accepted by the seller, where if you had someone in your own agent representing you, they would help you look at what's going on in the market, do a market analysis and show you what the true value of this home should be and negotiate on your behalf to get that price accepted. Next is limited disclosure from the listing agent. Now, I will say that it is required by law that a listing agent provide disclosure of any known facts about the property. While providing disclosures and helping you thoroughly go through those disclosures are 2 very different things. They can provide you all the information, but they don't necessarily have to highlight the things that your own representing agent would probably want to focus on to make sure you're not missing any red flags. A buyer's agent will always dig deeper into those disclosures, make sure you see any factor that could be a potential issue in the future and end up costing you more money yet again. Last but not least is you don't save money by going to the listing agent. The listing agent likely is just going to make a little bit more money off of you and working with the seller. What typically happens here is there's the myth out there that if you work with the listing agent, then the listing agent only gets paid once and you basically get free representation. Well, when it comes to maybe not noticing the red flags on the property, that's going to cost you more money. Maybe overpaying for the property because the listing agent knows the seller's bottom line. And if they can get you there, even though maybe another buyer wouldn't be willing, you're now possibly overpaying for the property. And again, that listing agent is double dipping in the commission scenario. Okay, 5 different reasons. And really the bottom line is you have to have your own representation when it comes to purchasing a home. This is a huge investment. I don't care where you are in life, especially here in Sonoma County, you are likely going to be spending $500,000, $1 million, $1 million $100,000+ on this purchase, and you got to make sure it's a wise investment at the right price. When our team represents a seller and we have listings here in Sonoma County, it happens maybe once or twice a year that someone out there is looking as a buyer unrepresented for a property like we have listed. Then the possibility is entertained that, will you represent me in purchasing this home? We always want to make sure that we protect our seller first and foremost. That is who we have the existing written relationship with in the listing agreement. Our due diligence is to them. So it would not be wise for us to represent the buyer and possibly disclose information to the buyer from the seller's side that should not be shared. Now, on the flip side of that, we also don't want this poor buyer going through the process alone. That is the benefit of having a team. Julie and I, who you see on this channel all the time, are the two that handle all the listings. We also work with buyers, as do the rest of our team. So oftentimes we're able to hand off these buyers to another team agent. We know they're going to be well taken care of because our agents know the market, our agents know exactly what to look for in the process of buying a home, but there's no lines crossed because they're two separate agents. They don't know what's going on with the seller and they can focus solely on the buyer. That is the maximum of how we would ever recommend working within one group or team or a solo agent when buying a home with someone who's also listing the property. There are some gray areas and you really have to make sure to protect yourself in this process. We really like to think that all the agents out there have their clients' best interests in mind, but we've seen things over the years that prove that to not quite be true. So if you ever have questions about how to find representation, or if you're looking to buy a home here in Sonoma County, we are absolutely happy to help you, and we will be upfront and honest with you if you show interest in a property we have listed. This happens about 1% of the time, maybe 2% on a really wild year. So the odds of this being the case is not super likely, but it does happen. So if you see properties here in Sonoma County and you want someone to represent you fully, wholly, and without any question of whose fiduciary duty is to you as the buyer, give us a call. I'll put my info here on the screen. We'd love to answer any questions about this agency agreement, how this all works, and make sure that you are headed in the right direction with the right protection. Again, I'm Morgan DeVincenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we would love to help you buy your next home here in Sonoma County. If you liked this video, you know what to do. Tap the like button, hit the bell so you're subscribed, and get all the helpful information about what to do and what not to do when buying a home and all things about Sonoma County. We look forward to seeing you here soon.